most haunted stories start with a place. These start with stuff. Ordinary things you could put in a shopping cart. Tonight, we're diving into 13 cursed object stories from Reddit. These aren't ancient relics locked in glass cases. These are thrift store finds, yard sale bargains, family hand-me-downs, and it followed me home from vacation souvenirs that came with a lot more than dust. You'll hear about items that seem to break people instead of breaking in, objects that bring streaks of bad luck no one can quite explain, and things that act like they have opinions about who owns them. Maybe it's all coincidence, maybe it's projection, or maybe some objects don't like being touched. Turn the lights down, look around at the things in your room, and ask yourself if one of them was cursed. Which one would you bet on? This is 13 Cursed Object Stories. Story number 1 from user. Stained Whisper, I think I bought a cursed mirror at a garage sale.
Okay, so I live in a small town where estate sales are practically a sport. You find old furniture, weird trinkets, sometimes even cool antiques people don't know the value of. I hit up this sale 2 weeks ago at a house that had been empty for a while. Owner died, no next of kin. Everything had to go. Classic old lady died alone, set up. There was this antique mirror, maybe 2 feet tall, framed in what looked like carved bone. Probably not, but who knows with old stuff. The glass wasn't cracked, but it had this patina to it, like it had absorbed too many bad memories. I bought it for $5 because I'm a sucker for creepy aesthetic. I hung it in my hallway. That was mistake number 1. First couple nights, nothing happened. But then, I started noticing something off. When I'd walk past it, I'd catch a glimpse of someone behind me. Not a reflection, like a person, not me, standing in the hallway. But when I'd turn, no one was there. At first, I thought it was sleep deprivation. I'm a night owl. Maybe my brain was glitching. Then the dream started. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, remembering only flashes. A man with no eyes, a whisper in a language I don't recognize, my own reflection smiling after I'd stopped. The mirror wasn't just showing things, it was learning. Each day, it seemed like the reflection lagged just a little behind me, like it was trying to keep up but failing. Last night, I covered the mirror with a sheet. Just didn't want to look at it anymore. This morning, the sheet was on the floor, neatly folded, not dropped, folded. I've tried moving it out to the garage. It always ends up back in the hallway, hanging in the exact same spot. I live alone. No pets, no roommates. I've even tried putting it in the dumpster 3 blocks away. Came home, and it was leaning against my bedroom wall. I've stopped sleeping. I'm seeing things move in the mirror, places I've never been. One looked like a morgue. Another looked like my own house, but ruined, overgrown with mold and black vines that don't exist in real life. Sometimes my reflection is missing. Sometimes it's the only thing there. If anyone knows anything about cursed objects, specifically mirrors, I'm open to ideas. I don't think I'm going crazy, but maybe that's just part of how it works. Anyway, don't buy mirrors from dead people. Edit. Someone just knocked on my door. I checked the peephole. No one was there, but the hallway behind me in the mirror is pitch black now. It's daytime. The hallway isn't supposed to be dark.
Story number 2 from user burned page, the music box in the attic.
Hey everyone, long-time lurker, first-time poster. I need to get this off my chest because I'm starting to lose it. We moved into my grandma's old house a few months ago after she passed. It's a big, rambling Victorian, the kind with endless dusty corners and that faint smell of old wood and lavender. Most of it's just charmingly old, but the attic feels different. It's freezing up there, even in the middle of the day. And there's this stillness, like the air itself is holding its breath. We haven't really gone through much of the stuff up there yet, mostly just boxes of old photos and moth-eaten clothes. But in the very back corner, tucked under a stained drop cloth, I found it. A music box. It's small, made of dark, intricately carved wood. No maker's mark, nothing to indicate where it came from. The metal crank is tarnished and stiff. I almost left it, honestly, it just gave me a bad vibe. But something made me try to wind it. It took a lot of effort, and the gears protested with a dry, scraping sound. Then, finally, it started to play. The melody. It's hard to describe. It's not a pretty tune. It's slow, discordant, almost like something is sighing in musical form. It makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. My dog, usually glued to my side, whined and hid under the bed when he heard it. I only let it play for a few seconds before I stopped it. The silence that followed felt heavy, expectant. I put the music box back under the drop cloth and got the hell out of the attic. That night, things started. I kept hearing faint music, just a few notes, almost like a whisper of the melody from the box. I thought I was imagining it, the tune stuck in my head. But my wife heard it too. She described it the same way, slow, sad, off-key. It's been 3 days now. The music is getting clearer, louder. It seems to drift through the house, coming from no specific direction. We've searched everywhere, obviously, nothing. And then there are the dreams. They're always the same. I'm in the attic, but it's darker, colder than before. I see shadows moving in the corners of my vision. And then I see it, a figure standing in the gloom, just out of focus. I can't make out any details, but I feel an overwhelming sense of sorrow and hunger. The music box is playing in the background, that same mournful tune. Last night I woke up with scratches on my arm, 3 parallel lines, like something with sharp claws. I don't own a cat. My wife is terrified. I'm trying to stay rational, thinking maybe there's a giraffe making a whistling sound, or we're both stressed from the move. But deep down, I know it's the music box. I haven't gone back up to the attic, I don't want to. But I feel this pull, like the box is calling to me. Has anyone ever experienced anything like this? Is there some kind of ritual or something I can do? I'm genuinely scared of what's going to happen next. I'll try to update if anything else happens. TLDR, found a creepy music box in my grandma's attic. It plays a disturbing melody, and now, weird things are happening in the house, including unsettling dreams and possible physical harm.
Story number 3 from user buffering coincidence, Aunt Mildred's lucky knitting needles.
Aunt Mildred passed away a few weeks ago, and going through her things was an experience. Think hoarder meets Wiccan flea market. Anyway, amongst the dusty porcelain dolls with unsettlingly human-like hair and jars full of questionable organic matter, I found a pair of knitting needles. They're long, made of some dark, polished wood I can't identify, and they feel strangely cold to the touch, even in a warm room. Tied around the middle with a faded black ribbon was a small, handwritten tag that read, "For my name. May they knit you a fortunate thread. Signed, Mildred, Weaver of Fates." Yeah, my aunt was like that. I almost threw them out immediately. They just felt off. But something made me keep them. Maybe morbid curiosity, maybe the fact that they looked kind of antique and potentially valuable. Hey, gotta think practically when you're dealing with potential hauntings, right? I put them in a drawer in my office and promptly forgot about them until last night. I was working late, trying to catch up on some reports, when I started hearing this faint clicking sound. Like knitting needles clicking together. I live alone now. Wife is staying with her sister for a bit after all the weirdness started with the house. Smart woman. So, the only sound should have been my keyboard. I stopped typing and listened. The clicking stopped too. I shrugged it off as the house settling or something. Went back to work. Then it started again. Click, click, click. Always in a slow, deliberate rhythm. I got up and checked the house. Nothing. Every room was empty. The clicking seemed to be coming from my office. I opened the door and it stopped. I went back to my desk, and after a few minutes, click, click, click. This time I pinpointed the sound. It was coming from the drawer where I'd put Aunt Mildred's knitting needles. I slowly opened the drawer. The needles were just lying there, still tied together. No movement. The clicking stopped as soon as the drawer was open. I took them out. They felt even colder in my hand. As I held them, I swear I felt a faint vibration, like they were humming silently. I put them back in the drawer, and after a minute, click, click, click. Okay, nope. This is not normal. I took the needles out again and put them on my desk, away from anything they could be hitting. The clicking stopped. I sat back down, trying to convince myself it was all in my head. Then, I saw it. One of the needles, the one on top, moved. Just a tiny twitch, like it was trying to poke something. My blood ran cold. I haven't touched them since. They're just sitting there on my desk, silent for now. But every so often I hear that faint clicking, even when I'm not in the room. It's like they're impatient. And here's the really creepy part. Today, I found a small piece of knitting on my desk. It's just a few rows of a strange, dark yarn I've never seen before. The stitches are uneven and unsettling. It looks less like knitting and more like some kind of twisted knot. I didn't put it there. I don't know how to knit. I'm starting to think Aunt Mildred didn't just weave fates, metaphorically. So, now I have a haunted house with a creepy music box, a sinister mirror, and now, sentient knitting needles that are apparently creating cursed yarn. What fresh hell is this? Anyone know anything about cursed knitting needles? Or crazy aunts who might have dabbled in... Well, whatever this is, I'm seriously considering burning everything and moving into a tent. TLDR, inherited a pair of knitting needles from my eccentric dead aunt. They make clicking noises on their own, seem to move, and now a piece of creepy unknown knitting has appeared on my desk.
Story number 4, from user Antique Teeth. I bought a cursed object off the Home Shopping Network.
Okay, so I know how this sounds. I was drunk, it was 2 a.m., and I just finished my third rewatch of Hereditary. I flipped through channels to distract myself from the feeling I get after that movie. You know, like something's watching you from the corner, chewing loudly. Anyway, I landed on this segment on the Home Shopping Network. 2 chipper hosts, Cheryl and some guy named Donnie, were showcasing vintage estate curiosities. Basically overpriced garbage your grandma wouldn't even dust. But then Cheryl pulled out this ring, jet black, antique gold band, with a weird oval stone in the center that shimmered red in certain angles. She called it the Widow's Eye. I swear to God she winked and said, "It sees who you really are." Drunk me, sold. $49.95, free shipping. I laughed and fell asleep with a pizza on my chest. The ring arrived 3 days later, no branding, no receipt. Just a tiny box wrapped in old newspaper from 1997. The date on the paper was the same as my mom's funeral. Creepy coincidence number 1. I put it on. It was ice cold, like putting on a dead finger. The stone didn't shimmer red anymore. It just looked wet. I wore it for maybe 5 minutes before I started feeling sick to my stomach. Nausea, chills, sharp headache behind my left eye. Took it off, felt better. That's when the dream started. Always the same. I'm standing in a dark hallway that never ends, with mirrors lining both sides. I can't see myself in any of them, but I can see someone else. A woman in a wedding dress, face covered in black lace, standing inside the mirror, getting closer every time I dream. Last night I woke up and my bathroom mirror was fogged up. I live alone, no shower running. In the fog, someone had written, "Do you love me yet?" I checked the ring box. It's empty now. I haven't seen the ring in 3 days, but I woke up this morning with a red oval imprint burned into my finger like it was still there. My smoke alarm goes off at random. My dog won't come into my room anymore. And when I turned on HSN last night, Cheryl was there, alone, just staring into the camera, silent, for a full minute. Then she whispered, "He's yours now," and smiled.
Story number 5 from user 13th Cano. My aunt gave me a birthday gift that might be trying to kill me.
So my birthday was 2 weeks ago. I turned 30, which is already depressing enough without what followed. My Aunt Carol, who's always been the eccentric one in the family, collects taxidermy, and once tried to marry a man she met in a dream, gave me a gift she claimed was very special and definitely meant for you. That should have been red flag number 1. It was a wooden mask, old, tribal-looking, dark as pitch, with teeth carved into a permanent grin. Creepy but cool in a haunted curiosity shop kind of way. I figured it was a replica or just a decorative thing she picked up from one of her weird estate sale hauls. She said it used to belong to a shaman who saw too much. Cool. Thanks for the PTSD helmet, Carol. Anyway, I put it up on a shelf in my office. Big mistake. First couple days, just unsettling vibes. I'd catch myself glancing at it more than I meant to. I started feeling watched, like it was waiting for something. But I figured it was just the power of suggestion. Then I started losing time. Like I'd sit at my desk, blink, and realize hours had passed. I once came to standing in my backyard barefoot, holding the mask. No memory of going outside, no shoes, no reason. Just me and this awful thing in my hands, warm like skin. My cat won't go in the office anymore. She just stares at the door and makes this low growling noise like she sees something moving in there. I finally got creeped out enough to shove the mask in a storage bin and duct tape it shut. But the dreams won't stop. It's always the same. I'm wearing the mask, walking through pitch black woods, and there's this rhythmic chanting. I don't recognize the language, but I know they're saying my name. I always wake up gasping with dirt under my fingernails and the sound of drums echoing in my ears. Last night was the worst. I woke up to drumming in the actual house. Not a dream. Not my imagination. Real, low, hollow thuds coming from the walls. I ran to the garage to check the bin. It was open. Mask gone. Duct tape still perfectly intact, just peeled back like someone didn't want to damage it. This morning I found it back on the shelf, exactly where I first put it. And this time, it's smiling wider.
Story number 6 from user him in reverse. The tarnished locket that keeps finding me.
This is, I don't even know what to call it. A recurring nightmare? A really messed up coincidence? Or something genuinely else? It started when I was a kid, maybe 10 or 11. My family went on a vacation to this small, dusty antique shop in the middle of nowhere. While my parents were haggling over some chipped teacups, I found this locket tucked away in a dusty box. It was small, oval-shaped, made of tarnished silver. The front had this weird, swirling design that looked almost organic, like veins or roots. It felt cold in my hand, and there was a faint metallic smell to it. For some reason, I was drawn to it. I didn't have any money, so I just put it back and forgot about it. Except I didn't. A few weeks later, back home, I found it on my bedside table. I have no idea how it got there. I distinctly remember leaving it in the shop. My parents swore they didn't buy it for me. I was freaked out, but being a kid, I was also a little thrilled by the mystery. I opened it. It was empty. Over the next few months, weird things started happening. Nightmares, feeling like I was being watched, objects moving slightly when I wasn't looking. Nothing major, but enough to make me uneasy. Eventually, I lost the locket. I searched everywhere, but it was just gone. And with it, the weirdness faded. Fast forward about 7 years. I'm in college, browsing a flea market in a completely different state. And there it is, in a box of random jewelry looking exactly the same. The tarnished silver, the swirling design, the cold touch. My blood ran cold. There was no way. I bought it this time, almost against my will. It felt like I had to. The moment I held it, that familiar unease washed over me. The weird dreams came back, stronger this time. I started having these flashes of images. Dark forests, a feeling of being lost, whispers I couldn't understand. Terrified, I threw it away. I walked to the middle of a busy park and tossed it in a trash can, burying it under other garbage. I felt a sense of relief, like I'd finally broken free. 2 years later, I moved into a new apartment. While unpacking, I found it in a box of old books I hadn't opened in years, just lying there, nestled between the pages of a forgotten novel. I screamed. My roommate thought I'd seen a spider the size of my head. I couldn't explain it. This has happened 3 more times since then. Once, I found it tucked inside a jacket I hadn't worn in years. Another time, it was inexplicably sitting on my desk at a new job. The last time, just a few months ago, I found it in the pocket of a pair of pants I bought secondhand. Each time, the same feeling of dread, the same unsettling dreams, the same sense of being followed by something unseen. Every time it reappears, the tarnish seems a little darker, the swirling design a little more pronounced, and each time, the negative energy around me intensifies. I've tried everything to get rid of it permanently. Burning it felt wrong, like it was resisting. I tried smashing it, but it wouldn't break. I even tried throwing it into the ocean again, miles away from where I originally found it, but I have this sickening feeling it'll just turn up again. I don't understand why this locket keeps finding me. What is it? What does it want? I'm genuinely scared. It feels like this thing is attached to me, like some kind of silent, persistent stalker. Has anyone ever experienced anything like this? An object that just keeps coming back, no matter what you do? I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I'm living in a low-budget horror movie, and I'm the clueless protagonist who can't shake the cursed artifact. I'm honestly terrified of where it will turn up next. TLDR. Found a weird locket as a kid that keeps reappearing in my life years later, no matter how I try to get rid of it. It brings bad dreams and a feeling of unease, and I have no idea why it's so fixated on me.
Story number 7 from user Debug Reality. Won a prize from a claw machine. Now it won't let me quit the game.
So this happened last weekend at one of those family fun arcades, the kind with sticky floors, animatronic mascots missing eyes, and a weird smell somewhere between fryer grease and mildew. My girlfriend and I were killing time before a movie, and I got sucked into this old school claw machine in the back corner. It was beat to hell, screen flickering, glass smudge, all the toys inside faded or dusty. No brand on it, no logo, just a crudely printed label that read, "Win me if you dare." We thought it was hilarious. Like, I put in a token, the joystick barely worked, the claw moved like it had arthritis, but somehow I won first try. The prize was a small plush clown, but not the cutesy kind. This thing had a cracked porcelain face, a frilly collar stained yellow, and one eye sewn shut with black thread. It was disturbingly realistic for a claw machine prize. My girlfriend refused to hold it. I joked that it looked like something a haunted doll would cough up. Should have left it there. I tossed it in the backseat of my car and forgot about it. That night I started dreaming about claw machines. In the dream I was stuck inside one, surrounded by other prizes, all of them whispering, "Play again." The claw hovered above me constantly, twitching like it was deciding whether or not to drop. The next day I found a claw machine token in my coat pocket. I hadn't worn that coat to the arcade. I threw it away. Next morning, another token on my nightstand. Same design, no branding, just a small smiling clown face stamped in gold. I started collecting them out of paranoia. I now have 17. The worst part? My hands won't stop miming the claw, like involuntarily. I catch myself making the grabbing motion. I once did it while holding a coffee cup and shattered it. My girlfriend left 3 days ago after I jokingly tried to pick up her cat with 2 fingers and said almost gotcha in a weird voice I don't even remember using. I tried burning the doll. It didn't burn. I tried throwing it away. It came back. I tried smashing it with a hammer, and all I got was a fractured mirror and another token under my pillow. Last night I dreamed I was the claw, stuck on rails, endlessly moving, dropping, lifting, failing. Then I saw the clown. It looked up at me and whispered, "Your turn now." I woke up holding a plastic joystick. I don't know where it came from. There's a token taped to my forehead, and the arcade's been closed for 10 years.
Story number 8 from user Cash Corruption. So, turns out cursed objects can fight each other.
Look, I know how this is gonna sound, and I don't care. I need someone to tell me if this is normal for cursed objects, because I think mine are either trying to kill each other or form some kind of unholy union. I collect weird crap, estate sale oddities, flea market finds, stuff that gives off "don't touch me" vibes. I used to joke that I'd die under mysterious circumstances surrounded by haunted salt shakers and demonic Elvis busts, but recently it stopped being a joke. 2 months ago, I bought a mirror from a traveling antique vendor. Guy practically shoved it at me, said it shows what you deserve, not what you are. Cool, poetic, also deeply unsettling. Naturally, I hung it in my hallway. Every time I walked past it, the reflection would be slightly off. Sometimes I was frowning when I wasn't. Sometimes my eyes were blacked out. Sometimes I wasn't in the mirror at all, just a long, empty hallway stretching behind me. I started covering it with a sheet. It would uncovers itself at night. Fast forward to last week. I found a music box at a thrift store shaped like a heart, carved from bone. Bone. It plays a lullaby I swear I've never heard, but somehow know. I didn't connect the dots until the second night, when I realized the music box only starts playing when I walk past the mirror. I mean, only then. I even tested it. Nothing. Silence. But one step in front of the mirror, boom, lullaby. Then things escalated. 2 nights ago, I walked past the mirror. My reflection was holding the music box, even though my hands were empty, and it was smiling. I turned around. The mirror was bleeding, like dripping blood. Not metaphorical, it's spooky vibes, actual red fluid. When I ran to the kitchen for something to clean it up, the music box was sitting in the middle of the hallway, playing on its own, spinning faster than it should. I left them on opposite ends of the house, tried separating them. Last night, I woke up to screeching. Not music, not glass, something like feedback and teeth grinding at once. The music box was in pieces. The mirror cracked all the way through. And my hallway walls, covered in smeared messages written in backwards cursive, "We were fine before you came. Stop tearing us apart. Let us finish the song." This morning, the music box was fixed. Perfect. Untouched. The mirror? Pristine again, like they reset overnight. I swear to God they're sinking, feeding off each other. I think I introduced them, and now they've bonded in some twisted ghost parasite romance. And I'm the third wheel they don't need anymore. If I go missing, tell the police I was murdered by my decor.
Story number 9 from user Saltline Basement. Bought a cursed object off the dark web.
Yeah, I know. I deserve this. You don't just go poking around the dark web looking for cursed artifacts unless you have a death wish or a severe lack of hobbies. I was bored. Curiosity won, sanity lost. There was a forum, invite only, password protected, mostly conspiracy nuts and paranormal collectors. Think eBay for people who think Ouija boards are beginner level. One listing caught my eye. The whisper jar contains a voice that was never born. Only $80, crypto only, shipped from somewhere in Eastern Europe. Description said, "Do not open if you live alone. Do not open at night. Do not speak into the jar." Guess what I did? It arrived in a burlap sack inside a wooden box sealed with wax. The jar was old. Clear glass, sealed with twine, and what looked like dried flowers and ash stuffed around the lid. No label, no brand, just a faint, almost invisible fingerprint on the glass. I opened it at night, alone. And yeah, I spoke into it. I said, "Hello?" Because apparently I wanted to die like the dumbass in every horror movie. At first, nothing, just air. Cold, stale air that smelled like wet stone. But later that night, I heard something in the living room. A whisper, just one word. Hello. Figured it was my mind playing tricks until it answered every time I said something, not repeating, responding, slowly, like it was learning. The whispers got louder over the next few nights. I tried putting the jar back in the box, taping it shut, even locking it in the trunk of my car. Didn't matter. I'd still hear it from the corner of whatever room I was in. The voice was always just out of sight, behind me, under the couch, on the ceiling. Never the same place twice. Then the whispering turned into mimicking. I'd hear myself in the apartment when I wasn't speaking. I'd hear my voice humming songs I haven't sung in years, arguing with someone I couldn't see, laughing my exact laugh, but wrong, hollow, delayed, like the sound came after the movement. I smashed the jar 2 days ago. It laughed. Now it talks even without me saying anything. Sometimes it pretends to be my mom. Sometimes it pretends to be me. Sometimes it just whispers things like, "You're not the only one who opened me. He's in your closet now. Don't look." I looked. There was nothing there. But now every mirror in my apartment shows me standing with someone else beside me. A figure I can't see without glass. He's taller than me, thin, smiling with no mouth. I listed the broken jar on the forum. No one will buy it. Because apparently, once it answers you, you become the next listing.
Story number 10 from user Fluorescent Grim. The antique mirror in the guest room.
The guest room downstairs used to be my great aunt. It's got this heavy, ornate furniture and a massive antique mirror hanging on the wall. It's one of those old ones with the slightly wavy glass and a thick, tarnished silver frame. Honestly, it's kind of beautiful in a creepy way. When we first moved in, I cleaned it, but I didn't really pay it much attention. We haven't had any guests yet, so the room's mostly been unused. About a week ago, I started noticing things in the reflection that weren't there. Just fleeting glimpses at first. A shadow moving in the hallway when no one was there. A flicker of light in the corner of the room when the lights were off. I chalked it up to tired eyes and old house quirks. But it's escalating. 2 nights ago, I was walking past the guest room and glanced in the mirror. For a split second, I saw a face behind me in the reflection. An old woman's face, gaunt and pale, with dark, hollow eyes staring directly at me. I spun around so fast I almost pulled a muscle, but there was nothing there. Just the empty hallway. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe the lighting was weird. Maybe I was half asleep. But the image was so vivid, so real. Yesterday, my wife mentioned she'd seen something too. She was dusting in the living room, which faces the guest room door, and she swore she saw someone standing in the doorway reflected in the mirror. When she looked up, the doorway was empty. Now, here's where it gets really unsettling. Last night, I had another one of those attic dreams, the ones with the shadowy figure and the mournful music. But this time, when I looked towards the figure, its face flickered, and for a brief moment, it looked like the face I saw in the mirror. The old woman. This morning, I went into the guest room, determined to just take the damn mirror down. But when I looked at my reflection, I noticed something else. Faint lines etched into the glass, almost invisible unless you're looking closely. They look like scratches, 3 parallel lines, just like the ones I woke up with a few nights ago. I'm freaking out, guys. 2 cursed objects in one house? What are the odds? I have a really bad feeling about this. It feels like whatever is tied to that music box has somehow spread or connected to the mirror. We're thinking about having the house blessed or something, but honestly, I don't even know where to start. Has anyone ever dealt with multiple cursed items in one place? Is that even a thing? I'm genuinely terrified of what might happen next. I'm avoiding the guest room now, just like I'm avoiding the attic. This house is starting to feel less like a home and more like a trap. Any advice, no matter how out there, would be appreciated. TLDR. An antique mirror in the guest room is now showing reflections of things that aren't there, including a gaunt old woman. The face in the mirror might be connected to the shadowy figure in my nightmares, and the mirror has strange scratches that match the ones I woke up with.
Story number 11 from user Van across the street. I've thrown it away 6 times. It always comes back.
This is going to sound like a bad creepypasta, but I swear on everything, I am not making this up. About a month ago, I found an old stuffed rabbit at a thrift store. Looked handmade, patchy gray fur, button eyes. Well, one button. Other side was just an empty stitch, and a little stitched mouth shaped like a crooked smile. It was ugly cute in that sad, forgotten toy kind of way. I bought it on impulse for $3.99. Why? I don't know. Maybe I felt sorry for it. I left it on a shelf in my living room and forgot about it. That night, I heard a thud at 3 a.m. Figured it was my cat knocking something over, got up to check. The rabbit was on the floor, upright, facing the hallway. Okay, maybe it fell. Next night, same time, thud. This time it was in the kitchen, still upright, still facing the hallway. I asked my roommate if he was screwing with me. He looked genuinely weirded out and said, "Dude, I thought you moved it. It was sitting in the bathroom this morning staring at the mirror." We both laughed it off, nervously, but from then on, the rabbit started moving around the house at night. Always 3 a.m., always somewhere different by morning. We tried hiding it, locking it in drawers, sealing it in a box, duct tape. Nothing worked. It would show up somewhere else, usually closer to our bedrooms. So I did what any rational person would do. I threw it away. Drove to the dump, watched the garbage compactor crush it. That night, 3 a.m., thud. It was back, sitting on my bed. Since then, I've burned it. Ashes reassembled into the full rabbit in my closet. Buried it, dug up the spot the next day, whole, empty, rabbit on my couch. Even mailed it to a friend in another state. Tracking says delivered. He never got it. It came back 2 days later sitting outside my front door in a USPS box with no postage or return address. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't talk. It just shows up. Always at 3 a.m., always closer. It doesn't blink. Obviously, it's a toy. But I swear, I feel it watching me. Like it's waiting for me to do something, or forget something, or fall asleep. Last night I locked my bedroom, pushed furniture in front of the door. Woke up this morning. The rabbit was under my blanket. I don't even remember falling asleep.
Story number 12 from user Backdoor Knocks. The music box won't stop playing.
I'm not really a haunted object kind of guy. I don't watch ghost shows, I don't burn sage, and I sure as hell don't go looking for cursed antiques. That's why this whole thing is screwing with me so bad. I didn't ask for this. About a month ago, I bought a little music box from a flea market outside of town. It was this delicate-looking porcelain thing shaped like a ballerina on a stage. Real vintage. Real creepy. I got it because my niece is into ballet, and I thought it might make a cool gift. The old guy running the booth told me it was one of a kind and should never be opened after midnight. I laughed, handed him $10, and went on my way. Thought he was just leaning into the whole haunted curio gimmick. Turns out, not a gimmick. The first time it played, I didn't even touch it. Middle of the night, around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to this eerie music drifting down the hallway. Faint, delicate, like a lullaby for someone you don't want to fall asleep near. I figured maybe it was spring-loaded and got triggered somehow. I wound it down, shut the lid, went back to bed. Next night, it played again. Louder. I didn't sleep. I just sat there listening to it play for a full minute straight. No movement from the ballerina, no ticking mechanism, nothing. Just music. The weird part? It was a different tune. Not a song I recognized. Slower. Sadder. More deliberate. I locked it in the garage. I heard it playing through the damn walls. I got fed up and tossed it in the river near my house. Gone, right? Done. Good riddance. Nope. That night, I woke up to it playing, this time from inside my closet. I opened the door, expecting to see it sitting there, but there was nothing. Just my shirts, some shoes, and the sound. Still playing. Still crystal clear. My niece came over a few days ago, and she started humming the tune randomly. Said she'd heard it in her dreams. I never gave her the box. She doesn't even know it existed. I've checked myself into a hotel for now, trying to get away from it. Doesn't matter, it still plays. Sometimes through the vents, sometimes from the walls. Last night, it came from under the bed. I lifted the mattress. Nothing there. Just a voice, very soft, very polite. Would you like to dance? I think I'm gonna burn my house down.
Story number 13, from user redacted briefing, the smooth black stone I found on the beach.
Hey everyone, another one for you. This happened a few weeks ago, and I still can't shake the feeling that something is seriously wrong. I live in a small coastal town and often go for walks on the beach, especially after a storm. A few weeks back, after a particularly nasty one, I was combing the shore for interesting shells and driftwood when I found it. It was a stone, unlike anything I'd ever seen on that beach. Everything around here is usually sandy or rocky, with the occasional piece of sea glass. But this was a perfectly smooth, jet black stone, almost like obsidian, but without the glassy sheen. It was oval-shaped, about the size of my palm, and it felt strangely warm to the touch, even though the air was cool. There were no markings on it, nothing to indicate what it was or where it came from. It just looked out of place. Something about it drew me in, though. It felt almost comforting to hold, despite its unusual appearance. So stupidly, I pocketed it and took it home. I put it on my desk, thinking it would make a cool paperweight. And for a few days, nothing happened. It just sat there, a smooth black rock. Then the dreams started. They're always the same. I'm on a beach, but it's not my local one. The sand is black, like ash, and the ocean is a dark, oily green. The air is heavy and silent, except for this low, guttural humming sound that seems to vibrate in my bones. In the distance, I see these shapes, tall, indistinct figures that seem to writhe and shift in the hazy air. They never get closer, but I feel this overwhelming sense of dread just looking at them. And then there's the feeling. When I wake up, I feel this oppressive sadness, this weight on my chest like something is suffocating me. It lingers throughout the day, making everything feel dull and pointless. I didn't connect it to the stone at first. I thought it was just stress. But then, I noticed something else. Small things started going wrong around the house. Lights flickering, appliances malfunctioning, my phone randomly turning off. Nothing major, just irritating. One evening, I was looking at the stone on my desk, and I had this sudden urge to pick it up. As soon as I held it, the humming sound from my dreams flashed in my head, just for a second. The stone felt even warmer than before, almost hot. That's when the penny dropped. I haven't held the stone since that night. The dreams haven't stopped, but the oppressive feeling during the day has lessened slightly. The weird electrical issues still happen occasionally. The worst part is, I can't bring myself to get rid of it. I've tried. I took it back to the beach where I found it, intending to throw it back into the ocean. But when I reached the water's edge, my hand just froze. I couldn't let go. It felt like something inside me was screaming no. I ended up bringing it back home, feeling sick and ashamed. It's back on my desk now, just sitting there. Sometimes, When I'm alone in the room, I swear I can feel it, watching me. Has anyone ever found anything like this? A seemingly innocuous object that just radiates bad vibes. I don't know what to do. I feel like this stupid rock has some kind of hold on me. I'm considering burying it far away from the beach, but I'm honestly scared of what might happen if I do. What if it gets angry? This whole thing feels insane, but I know what I'm experiencing is real. That stone, it's not right. TLDR. Found a smooth black stone on the beach after a storm. It gives me disturbing dreams of a black beach and shadowy figures. And since I brought it home, I've been feeling inexplicably sad and experiencing strange occurrences. I can't even bring myself to throw it away.
Let me tell you a story.
And that was 13 cursed object stories from Reddit. Some of these can be written off as bad timing, creaky houses, and people freaking themselves out over old junk. But a few of them, the ones where every owner has a story, every room feels heavier with that one item in it, and things only calm down when it's finally thrown out or destroyed, those are harder to brush off as coincidence. Maybe objects can't really hold curses. Maybe people are just very good at giving their fear a focal point. Either way, it makes that weird painting in the hallway feel a little different, doesn't it? If you've got your own "ever since I brought this home, everything went wrong" story, drop it in the comments. I read them, and I absolutely pay attention to the ones that start with, "I know this sounds crazy, but..." If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves antique shops and estate sales. Thanks for watching, and if something in your house feels just a little too attached to you, stop touching it. No reason to speedrun your own cursed object story.